Imagine you're Maria, a nurse from Haiti, working long shifts in a New York hospital, saving lives every day. Or Juan, a construction worker from Venezuela, building homes in Texas. You came to the US legally with a promise of safety for 2 years. Now, overnight, that promise is gone. You're told you're unemployable, deportable, and your life here could collapse. Why? Because the Supreme Court just made a decision that changes everything for 532,000 people. Why are these migrants losing their legal status? How will this affect their families, their communities, and the US economy? Is this about law and order or something deeper? What happens when 500,000 lives are turned upside down? We'll explore every one of these questions in this video. Let's start from the beginning. Hey everyone, I'm Kundan Yashputra and welcome to NextGen Now. 1. The backstory. What was the CHNV program? Let's set the stage. Back in 2022, the Biden administration launched a program called CHNV, standing for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. It was a humanitarian lifeline, offering a 2-year parole to people fleeing economic collapse, political violence, and health crises in their home countries. According to Reuters, on March 24, 2025, this program allowed 532,000 migrants to enter the U.S. legally by air, as long as they had a U.S. sponsor and passed security checks. They could live and work here, filling critical jobs in healthcare, construction, and manufacturing. Think of it like a temporary bridge. These countries, Haiti, Venezuela, Cuba, Nicaragua, were crumbling under gang violence, dictatorships, or natural disasters. The US said, come legally, contribute, and stay safe for 2 years. For example, USA Today on May 30, 2025 noted that nearly 20% of workers at one automotive parts factory were CHNV migrants. That's real impact: hospitals staffed, homes built, communities strengthened. But here's where it gets messy. The Biden team hoped CHNV would reduce illegal border crossings by offering a legal path. According to The Guardian on March 22, 2025, over 213,000 Haitians, 120,700 Venezuelans, 110,900 Cubans, and 93,000 Nicaraguans came through this program. It was a bold move, but not everyone agreed it worked. 2. The Trump administration's move. Why revoke it? Fast forward to 2025. President Trump takes office and on day 1 signs an executive order to end CHNV, as reported by NBC News on March 23, 2025. The Department of Homeland Security, led by Secretary Kristi Noem, announced on March 25 that the program would end on April 24, 2025, cutting short the 2-year parole for all 532,000 migrants. Why? The Trump administration argued it was against national interests, saying the program failed to deter illegal immigration and made it harder to enforce laws for those already here, per USA Today on May 30, 2025. It's like pulling the plug on a machine mid-operation. These migrants were told, you have 30 days to leave or face deportation. No case-by-case review, just a blanket termination. The administration claimed this was about restoring the rule of law, as stated by DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin in NBC News on May 23, 2025. They argued CHNV was an overreach of federal law, letting too many people stay without proper oversight. But here's the flip side. Critics like immigration lawyer Nicolette Glazer said on X on March 22, 2025 that this would cause unreal chaos for families and communities. Think about it. Maria, our nurse, could lose her job. Juan, our construction worker, could be sent back to a country where his life is at risk. This wasn't just policy, it was personal. 3. The legal battle. Courts step in. This decision didn't go unchallenged. Immigrant rights groups, along with cities and counties, sued the Trump administration, arguing the mass termination was illegal. On April 15, 2025, U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani in Boston blocked the move, saying the law requires a case-by-case review, not a blanket cancellation. Per CBS News on April 15, 2025, it's like telling a teacher you're failing the whole class without checking their work. Unfair and against the rules. The Boston-based First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals backed Talwani on May 6, 2025, as reported by Reuters. They said the administration couldn't just end CHNV without proper process. Cities argued that deporting these migrants would devastate industries. Hospitals could lose nurses, factories could lose workers. According to USA Today on May 30, 2025, labor unions highlighted how CHNV migrants filled critical gaps in key sectors. But the Trump administration didn't back down. They took it to the Supreme Court, arguing the lower courts were undoing democratically approved policies from the November election per USA Today on May 8, 2025. It's like a tug of war over who gets to decide immigration policy, the courts or the president. 4. The Supreme Court's decision. What happened? On May 30th, 2025, the Supreme Court made its call. In a brief, unsigned opinion, they sided with the Trump administration, allowing the revocation of CHNV status for now, while legal battles continue in lower courts, per CBS News on May 30th, 2025. This means 532,000 people could lose their work permits and face expedited removal, a fast-track deportation process. Two justices, Ketanji Brown Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor, dissented. Jackson wrote that the majority plainly botched the decision, ignoring the devastating consequences for these migrants, per USA Today on May 30th, 2025. She said it would bring social and economic chaos, leaving 500,000 people unemployable and vulnerable overnight. Imagine being told you can't work, can't stay, and might be sent back to a place where gangs or poverty could destroy you. That's the reality for Maria, Juan, and thousands like them. 5. The human impact. What's at stake? Let's zoom in on the people affected. Take Haiti, where gang violence controls 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, according to a 2024 UN report. Or Venezuela, where the State Department issued an extreme danger travel advisory in 2025, warning of wrongful detention and torture, per Los Angeles Times on May 19, 2025. Sending people back to these places isn't just a policy shift, it's a life or death decision. Then there's the US side. These migrants aren't just numbers, they're nurses, builders, factory workers. USA Today reported on May 30, 2025, that 20% of one factory's workforce relies on CHNV. If they're deported, hospitals could struggle, construction projects could stall, and communities could feel the ripple effects. It's like pulling a thread from a sweater. Everything starts to unravel. And what about the families? Many CHNV migrants have US sponsors, friends, relatives, or employers who vouched for them. These sponsors, along with cities like Boston and Los Angeles, argued that mass deportation would cause severe economic and societal harms, per USA Today on May 30, 2025. It's not just the migrants losing out, it's the whole system. 6. The bigger picture, what's next? So, where do we go from here? The Supreme Court's decision isn't final. Lower courts will keep battling it out. Some migrants might apply for asylum or other protections, but that's a long, uncertain process, per The Guardian on March 22, 2025. Others might face deportation to countries they fled for good reason. This ruling also sets a precedent. The Trump administration is pushing to end other programs, like Temporary Protected Status, TPS, for 350,000 Venezuelans, which the Supreme Court allowed on May 19, 2025, per the New York Times. Ahilan Arulanantham, a lawyer for the migrants, called it the largest single action stripping any group of non-citizens of immigration status in modern U.S. history, per Reuters on May 20, 2025. That's a massive shift. Is this about enforcing laws, as the Trump administration claims, or is it, as critics argue, a move that ignores the human cost for political points? It's like choosing between fixing a leaky dam or letting it burst. Both sides have risks, but the fallout hits hardest for those caught in the middle. This story isn't over. 500,000 lives hang in the balance, and the ripple effects could change communities across the U.S. What do you think? Does this decision strengthen the system, or does it create chaos? Have you seen the impact of immigration policies in your own town? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. If you want to stay updated on stories like this, hit that subscribe button for NextGen Now. I'm Kundan Yashputra and I'll see you in the next one.